Hey everyone, today we're diving into a chilling family secret that'll make your skin crawl. My mother-in-law spied on me with hidden cameras. This isn't just a mother-in-law nightmare, it's a betrayal that rocked my world. Have you ever felt watched in your own home? Let's unravel this twisted tale together. I'm Emily, 29, a graphic designer living in Seattle with my husband, Tom. We've been married 3 years, building a life we love. Tom's mom, Helen, 62, moved in 6 months ago after her husband passed. She seemed sweet at first, baking cookies, offering advice. But something about her felt off, like her smiles hid sharper edges. I brushed it off as grief, until one day, I found something that turned my life upside down. It was a sunny April morning. I was tidying our guest room, where Helen stayed, when I noticed a tiny black dot behind a picture frame. My heart skipped. It looked like a lens. I pried it loose, and there, it was a hidden camera. Small, but unmistakable. Its red light blinking faintly. My hands shook. Was this real? Who put it there? My mind raced to Helen. She'd been in here daily, fussing over decor. But why would she spy on us? I searched the room, finding 2 more cameras, one in a clock, another tucked in a bookshelf. My stomach churned. This wasn't a mistake. It was deliberate. I felt violated, like our home, our sanctuary, had been invaded. I called Tom at work, voice trembling. "There are cameras in our house," I said. He laughed, thinking I was joking, but went quiet when I described them. "That's weird," he said. "Maybe it's a misunderstanding." Misunderstanding? I wasn't so sure. When Helen got home, I watched her closely. She acted normal, chatting about dinner. But her eyes darted to the guest room door. Did she know I'd found them? I didn't confront her, not yet. I needed proof she was behind this. That night, I couldn't sleep, imagining her watching us, judging us. What was she looking for? Was she listening, too? The thought made my skin crawl. The next day, I checked our living room and found another camera, hidden in a fake plant. 4 cameras total, all in places Helen frequented. My anger grew, but so did my fear. What kind of person does this? I started replaying her behavior, her odd questions about my work, my schedule, even my phone calls. Was she building a case against me for what? I confided in my best friend, Mia, who was horrified. "That's illegal. Emily, you need to call her out." But I hesitated. Tom was so close to his mom. Accusing her could tear us apart. Still, I couldn't ignore it. I bought a signal detector online to sweep the house for more devices. Waiting for it felt like torture. Every creak in the house making me jump. What would you do if you found cameras in your home? By week's end, the detector arrived, and I scanned every room. No more cameras, but the damage was done. Our home felt like a prison, and Helen was the warden. I knew I had to act, but how confronting her without solid proof could backfire. And Tom's doubt gnawed at me. Was I paranoid? Or was Helen the monster I feared? This was just the start of a nightmare that'd test everything I held dear. Stick with me, the truth gets darker. Finding those cameras flipped a switch in me. Our home, once a safe haven, now felt like a stage where I was being watched, judged. I couldn't shake the image of Helen's eyes on me, tracking my every move. As days passed, suspicion turned to paranoia. and I started noticing things I'd overlooked. Was she escalating her tactics? Or was I losing my grip? Have you ever felt your reality unravel like this? I began watching Helen closely, searching for clues. She'd linger in rooms longer than necessary, adjusting knickknacks or tidying shelves where I'd found cameras. Her questions grew sharper, probing about my late work nights or who I'd texted. "You're always so busy, Emily," she'd say. Her tone sweet, but edged. It wasn't concern. It was fishing. I started checking my phone for tampering, locking it with a new code. Every time she smiled, I wondered what she knew. Tom wasn't much help. When I showed him the cameras, he frowned but said, "Maybe they're old. From before Mom moved in. Old. They were sleek, modern, with active lights." His denial stung, like he couldn't face the truth about his mom. I pressed him to talk to her, but he brushed it off. "Let's not jump to conclusions. Em." His words left me alone in my fear. And I hated it. Then I found something worse. While cleaning the kitchen, I noticed a tiny device behind the coffee maker. Not a camera, but a microphone. Small and wired to record. My blood ran cold. She wasn't just watching, she was listening. I yanked it out, my hands shaking, and searched the house again. Another mic in the dining room, tucked under a lamp. This was no misunderstanding. It was an invasion. What was Helen after? I started acting differently, careful with my words around her. I'd whisper to Tom in our bedroom, away from her devices, but even then, I felt exposed. Paranoia crept in. Was she hacking my laptop? Tracking my calls, I changed all my passwords. But the unease lingered. At work, I'd zone out, imagining her listening to my conversations with Mia or my boss. My latest design project faltered, and my manager noticed. "Focus, Emily," she said. But how could I? When my home was a trap? One night, I caught Helen near my desk, flipping through my planner. "Just organizing," she said. But her eyes were too sharp. I snapped. "That's mine, Helen." She smiled, unfazed, and left. My heart pounded. Was she planting something else? I swept the house with the signal detector again, finding no new devices. But the fear stayed. I started keeping my planner and phone with me, even in the bathroom. What would you do if you couldn't trust your own space? Tom's passivity made it worse. I begged him to confront her, showing him the mics. "This is serious? Tom, she's spying." He sighed, rubbing his face. "Mom's not a villain. Maybe she's just worried about us." Worried. This was obsession. His refusal to see it drove a wedge between us. I felt like I was fighting alone, and Helen knew it. Her confidence grew, her comments bolder. "You seem stressed. Emily, trouble at work." Each word was a jab, testing my limits. I couldn't take much more. The cameras, the mics, her constant presence, it was suffocating. I needed to know why she was doing this. But confronting her felt like walking into a lion's den. Was I ready to blow this up, risking Tom's loyalty? Or was I already too deep in her web? The truth is coming, and it's going to shock you. Stay with me. I couldn't live under Helen's surveillance any longer. The cameras, the microphones. It was like she'd turned our home into her personal spy network. My paranoia was eating me alive. And Tom's refusal to face the truth left me no choice. I had to confront her, no matter the cost. Have you ever had to call out someone you feared? It was a tense, Saturday evening. Helen was in the kitchen, humming as she chopped vegetables, the picture of innocence. My heart pounded as I clutched the cameras and mics I'd collected, evidence of her betrayal. Tom sat in the living room, scrolling on his phone, oblivious to the storm brewing. I took a deep breath and stepped forward. "Helen," I said, my voice steady, despite my nerves. "We need to talk. Now." She turned, her smile faltering as she saw the devices in my hands. "What's this? Emily?" she asked, her tone light but guarded. I laid the cameras and mics on the counter, each one a silent accusation. "These were hidden in our house," I said. "Care to explain?" Her eyes flicked to Tom, who joined us, his face a mix of confusion and dread. For a moment, no one spoke. The air was thick, like before a lightning strike. Helen recovered quickly, her voice dripping with concern. "Those aren't mine, dear. Maybe they're from the previous owners. It was a weak lie, and she knew it. I wasn't backing down. They're brand new, Helen. And they were in places you've been fussing over. Stop lying." My words hung heavy, and Tom shifted uncomfortably. Calm down," he said. But I ignored him. This was between me and her. Her mask slipped, her eyes narrowing. "You're accusing me." "In my son's home," she snapped, "playing the victim. But I was ready. I found 4 cameras and 2 mics. Helen, you've been spying on us?" "Why?" My voice rose. Anger, overtaking fear. Tom finally spoke, his tone sharp. "Mom, is this true?" Helen's face tightened, but she doubled down. "I'd never do such a thing. Emily's paranoid. Tom, she's stressed from work. Her deflection infuriated me. Paranoid. You've been watching us, listening to us. This is our home," I shouted, slamming a camera on the counter. Tom flinched, looking at his mom like he was seeing her for the first time. "Mom, answer her," he said, his voice low. Helen's composure cracked, her hands clenching. "I was protecting you," she said, turning to Tom. "She's not who you think, always sneaking around, working late. I needed to know, protecting him." It was absurd, but her words hit Tom hard. He looked at me, doubt flickering in his eyes. You have been distant," he said softly. My heart sank. She was twisting this, turning him against me. "Tom, she's lying," I pleaded. "She's controlling us." But Helen bounced, her voice sharp. "You're the one causing trouble. Emily? You're tearing this family apart." The argument escalated, voices overlapping in a chaotic blur. Helen accused me of hiding things. I threw her invasion of privacy back at her. Tom stood frozen, torn between us. Finally, I grabbed the devices and stormed out of the kitchen, tears stinging my eyes. This isn't over. I called back, in my room. I locked the door, my mind racing. What was she protecting Tom from? Was this about me? Or something deeper? The confrontation hadn't solved anything. It had made things worse. Helen's lies had planted seeds of doubt in Tom, and I felt more alone than ever. But I wasn't giving up. I needed to know why she was so obsessed with watching me. What would you do if someone turned your partner against you? The real fight was just beginning, and the truth would shake us all. The confrontation with Helen left me rattled. but it also lit a fire in me. Her weak excuses about protecting Tom didn't add up. Why was she so obsessed with spying on me? I needed to dig into her past to uncover the truth behind her twisted motives. What I found was darker than I ever imagined. Have you ever peeled back someone's facade to find a hidden agenda? I started with Tom, hoping he'd share something about his mom's history, but he was defensive after our fight. She's just overprotective. He said, shutting down my questions. Frustrated, I turned to other sources. Helen's brother, Uncle Mark, lived nearby. We'd only spoken at family gatherings, but he seemed less intense than her. I called him, keeping it light. I'm curious about Helen's life before Tom. I said. He paused, then said, she's always been controlling. It got worse after Dad died. My pulse quickened. Controlling? I pressed for more. And Mark opened up. When Helen was younger, she'd been fiercely independent, running a small business. But after marrying Tom's dad, Richard, she changed. Richard's family was strict, and Helen became paranoid, obsessed with keeping things perfect. Mark hinted at an incident Helen had once accused Richard's sister of disloyalty, digging into her life to prove it. She never trusted anyone. He said. Was I her new target? I dug deeper, searching Helen's belongings when she was out, in her closet. I found a locked box. My hands shook as I jimmied it open, revealing old letters and a notebook. The notebook was a goldmine pages of Helen's thoughts from years ago, filled with suspicion. One entry read, "No one's honest. I have to watch them all." Another mentioned Richard's sister. She's hiding something. I'll find it. It was chilling. Helen didn't just spy on me. She had a pattern of distrust, a need to control through surveillance. The letters were worse. They were from Richard, pleading with Helen to stop her investigations into his family. "You're tearing us apart," he wrote. I realized Helen's spying wasn't about protecting Tom. It was about her fear of losing control, her fear rooted in her past. She saw me as a threat, someone who'd disrupt her hold over her son. But why me? Was it my independence? My career? What would you do with secrets this heavy? I showed Tom the notebook, hoping it'd shake him awake. Your mom's done this before, I said, pointing to the entries. He read them, his face tight, but pushed the book away. This is old. She's not like that now. His denial crushed me, but I saw a flicker of unease in his eyes. He wasn't ready to face it, but I was getting through. Helen, meanwhile, grew bolder. She'd leave pointed notes on my desk. Trust is earned. Emily. Her confidence unnerved me. Like she knew I was onto her but didn't care. I started wondering about her tech skills. How did she set up those cameras? I contacted a friend of hers, Susan, who'd known her for decades, over lunch. Susan let slip that Helen had taken a cybersecurity course years ago to keep an eye on things. It wasn't just paranoia. It was calculated. Every piece of the puzzle made Helen scarier. She wasn't just a nosy mother-in-law. She was a woman driven by deep-seated fears, willing to invade lives to feel secure. I was her latest obsession, but I wasn't helpless. I needed a plan to expose her without losing Tom. Could I outsmart her at her own game? The stakes are about to get higher. Stay with me for what's next. Uncovering Helen's past gave me clarity. But it didn't fix the growing rift between me and Tom. Her spying wasn't just about control. It was about keeping Tom under her thumb. And I was collateral damage. My husband was caught in the middle, his loyalty torn between his mother's manipulations and me. Every move I made to expose Helen seemed to push him further away. Have you ever fought for someone who couldn't choose you? Tom's doubt was palpable. After I showed him Helen's notebook, he grew quieter, wrestling with the truth, but not ready to confront it. He'd defend her in small ways, saying, "She's been through a lot. Maybe she's just scared. Scared she was orchestrating a surveillance state in our home." I tried to stay patient, but his hesitation hurt. I needed him to stand with me, not straddle the fence. Helen sensed the tension and exploited it. She'd pull Tom aside for heart-to-hearts, her voice soft but pointed. I'd catch phrases like, "Emily's so secretive," or "I'm only looking out for you." Each talk left Tom more distant, his warmth replaced by suspicion. One night, I found a text from her on his phone. "She's not right for you. Tom, I see everything." My stomach dropped. She was poisoning him. And it was working. I tried reasoning with him, away from her ears. "Tom, she's manipulating you," I said, voice low in our bedroom. "Those cameras weren't for protection, they're about control." He rubbed his temples, looking exhausted. "I don't know. You're both saying different things. I just want peace. Peace I was fighting for our marriage, our privacy." His indecision felt like betrayal. "What would you do if your partner doubted you like this?" The strain showed. Tom stopped our usual rituals, no more coffee chats or late-night laughs. He'd spend evenings with Helen, listening to her concerns about me. I felt like an intruder in my own life. One evening, I overheard him tell her, "Maybe you're right about her work. It's always first." My heart sank. My design job was demanding, sure, but it was our future, our dream house, our plans. Helen had twisted it into neglect. I pushed back, confronting him with the evidence. "Look at this," I said, showing him a camera's packaging I'd found in Helen's trash. "She bought these. She's lying to you." He stared at it, jaw tight, then muttered, "I'll talk to her." But he didn't. Instead, he suggested I take a break from work to fix things at home. Fix things I was the one being spied on. Helen's grip was tightening, and Tom was slipping through my fingers. I started keeping a log, every device, every comment, every time Tom sided with her. It was my anchor. Proof I wasn't imagining this. But it couldn't mend the growing silence between us. I missed him, my partner, my best friend. Helen's cameras weren't just watching me, they were breaking us. I wondered if she'd done this before, driving wedges in other relationships. Her notebook hinted at it, but I needed more than hints. One night, I tried one last plea. "Tom, I love you," I said, tears falling. "But your mom's tearing us apart. Choose me, or we're done." He looked stricken, but didn't answer. His silence was louder than any argument. I walked away, heart heavy, knowing I couldn't keep fighting alone. Was our marriage worth saving if he wouldn't fight too? The answer was coming, and it'd change everything. Stick around for the next twist. Tom's silence after my ultimatum was a gut punch. I'd laid bare Helen's spying, begged him to choose me, but he couldn't, or wouldn't. Her cameras and mics had done more than invade my privacy. They'd fractured my marriage and left me questioning everything. The fallout of standing up to her was brutal, and I was drowning in isolation and doubt. Have you ever felt like you're losing yourself in a fight you didn't choose? Helen's control tightened like a noose. After our confrontation, she played the wounded mother, sighing to Tom about how Emily's accusations hurt her. "I only want to keep you safe," she'd say, her voice trembling for effect. Tom ate it up, his guilt making him her ally. He'd barely look at me. His words clipped when we spoke. Our home, once warm, felt like a Cold War zone. With Helen orchestrating every move, my confidence took a hit. At work, I was a mess, missing deadlines, snapping at colleagues. My boss pulled me aside, her tone firm. "Emily, get it together, or we'll need to talk options." Options I could lose my job. The one thing grounding me. Helen's voice haunted me. "You're not right for him." Was she right? Was I failing Tom by fighting her self-doubt crept in? And I hated myself for it. Helen's tactics grew subtler, but no less vicious. She'd accidentally leave my laptop open, my emails exposed, or move my keys, making me question my memory. Gaslighting. I realized, but knowing didn't stop the panic. I started double-checking locks, hiding my things, living like a fugitive in my own home. One night, I found a new mic in our bedroom. The violation made me sick. She was relentless. What would you do if someone made you feel crazy in your own space? Tom's distance was the worst. He'd spend hours with Helen, their murmurs a constant hum. I'd catch him watching me, not with love, but with suspicion, like I was the problem. I tried talking, but he'd shut down. "I don't know who to believe." He said once, his voice hollow. Who to believe I was his wife? Not some stranger. But Helen's lies had burrowed deep. And I was losing him. I withdrew, avoiding friends to hide my shame. Mia called, worried. But I brushed her off. "I'm fine. I lied." But I wasn't. My journal became my lifeline, where I scribbled every detail, devices, conversations. Tom's coldness. One entry read, "Am I the villain here? Or is she breaking me?" Writing kept me sane. But it couldn't fill the void of Tom's absence or stop Helen's psychological warfare. The lowest point came when Tom suggested moving out for a while. "Maybe we need space," he said, echoing Helen's narrative. Space she'd won, turning my husband against me. I cried myself to sleep, feeling utterly alone. My home, my marriage, my sense of self. Helen was dismantling it all. I wanted to give up, but a small part of me refused. I'd fought too hard to let her destroy me. Just when I thought I'd break, a glimmer of hope appeared. My phone rang a number I didn't know. The voice on the other end shocked me. Someone who knew Helen's games and had the proof to expose her. Could this be my way out? Or was it another trap? The truth is about to unravel, and it's going to blow your mind. Stay with me. I was at my breaking point, with Helen spying and Tom's distance crushing me. Just when I thought I'd crumble, a voice from the past reached out, offering a lifeline. An unexpected ally emerged. Someone who'd seen Helen's manipulations up close. Could they help me expose her lies and save my marriage? Have you ever found hope in a stranger's words? The call came on a grey Thursday afternoon. It was Karen, Richard's sister, Helen's old target, the one she tormented years ago. Uncle Mark had given her my number, sensing I needed help. "Emily, I know what Helen's doing," she said, her voice steady but urgent. "She spied on me too." My heart raced. Karen described how Helen had bugged her apartment, accusing her of disloyalty to the family. "She's obsessed with control," Karen said. "You're not crazy, she's done this before." Karen's story was a mirror to mine hidden devices, gaslighting, turning family against her. She'd left to escape Helen's grip. But she had proof, a recorded confession from Helen, admitting to planting cameras. "I'll send it to you," she said. "Use it to show Tom." I felt a surge of hope. Someone believed me, and they had evidence. What would you do with the chance to turn the tide? The recording arrived that night. A grainy audio of Helen ranting about keeping tabs on Karen to protect Richard. It was chilling, her voice cold and calculated. I played it over and over, each word fueling my resolve. I called Karen back, and she coached me. "Stay calm when you confront her. Let the proof speak." Her support was a lifeline, pulling me back from despair. I wasn't alone anymore. I showed Tom the recording the next day, away from Helen. "Listen to this," I said, hitting play. His face went pale as Helen's voice filled the room. "She did this to your aunt, Tom. She's doing it to me." He didn't speak, but his hands shook. For the first time. He couldn't dismiss it. I need to think," he said, his voice hoarse. It wasn't a victory, but it was a crack in Helen's hold. Helen noticed Tom's change in demeanor and got nervous. She'd hover, asking him if everything was okay, her eyes darting to me. I kept quiet, following Karen's advice, but I was watching her too. I reached out to Mia, finally opening up about the cameras and Tom's doubt. Her outrage grounded me. "You're not the problem. She is," with Karen and Mia in my corner. I felt stronger, ready to face Helen's next move. Tom started questioning his mom. Small things at first. "Why do you keep checking Emily's stuff?" he asked one night. Helen deflected, but her answers were shaky, her confidence slipping. I built on it, showing Tom my log of her devices and notes. "This is who she is," I said. He didn't argue, just nodded, the doubt in his eyes shifting from me to her. It was progress. But Helen wasn't done. Karen warned me she'll fight dirty when cornered. I braced myself, knowing the final showdown was near. With Karen's recording and my evidence, I had a chance to expose Helen for good. Could I outmaneuver her without losing Tom? The end of this nightmare is coming, and it's going to shock you. Stay with me for the final truth. With Karen's recording and Tom's doubts growing, I felt a flicker of strength. But Helen was a formidable foe. Her spying had nearly destroyed my marriage, and I knew the only way out was a final confrontation. I had to expose her lies and reclaim our home, no matter the risk. Could I end this nightmare and keep Tom by my side? Have you ever faced a truth that could change everything? It was a tense Friday night. Helen was in the living room, knitting, her calm a stark contrast to the storm inside me. I clutched the recording device and my log, my evidence ready. Tom sat nearby, his face tight with anticipation. I took a deep breath. "Helen?" I said, my voice firm. "We know you planted those cameras and mics. It's over." Her needle stopped, her eyes locking onto mine. Cold and calculating, she laughed, a sharp, dismissive sound. "You're delusional. Emily, I'd never do that." But I was prepared. I played Karen's recording. Helen's own voice, admitting to spying on her sister-in-law years ago. Tom's eyes widened, his breath catching. "Explain that. Mom," he said, his tone hard. Helen's face paled, her hands clenching. "That's not what it seems," she stammered. "I was protecting the family." I laid out the cameras and mics on the coffee table, each one a nail in her defense. "You spied on us, Helen, in our home." Why, my voice shook with anger. But I held her gaze. She tried to pivot, turning to Tom. "She's lying. Son, she's trying to tear us apart." But Tom wasn't swayed. "No. Mom, I've seen the evidence. You did this." His words were a lifeline, pulling me back from the edge. Helen's mask fell. "Fine," she snapped, her voice venomous. "I watched her because she's not good enough for you. Always working, hiding things. I needed to know her confession hung in the air, raw and ugly. I saw pain in her eyes, fear of losing Tom. But it didn't excuse her." "You violated us," I said. "You don't control this family." Tom nodded, his hand finding mine. "You went too far. Mom," the fight drained from her. She slumped, tears welling, but I felt no pity. She'd chosen this path. Tom and I agreed she had to leave. The next day, she packed, her silence deafening. Our home felt lighter, but the wounds remained. Tom and I started therapy, rebuilding trust step by step. My job stabilized, my designs earning praise again. We weren't whole, but we were healing. Helen's spying wasn't just about me. It was her fear of losing control, rooted in a past she couldn't escape. I learned to set boundaries, to fight for my space and my marriage. Was she a monster? Or just broken? I'll let you decide. Share your thoughts below. And if this hit home, like and subscribe. Let's talk family drama. What's your story? This gripping tale follows Emily's battle against her mother-in-law, Helen, who spied on her with hidden cameras and mics across 8 parts. Emily's first-person narrative reveals a chilling invasion of privacy, escalating from discovery to confrontation. Helen's past marked by paranoia and control unravels, showing her spying as a pattern, not a one-off. With Tom torn between his wife and mother, Emily faces isolation until Karen, a former victim, provides proof of Helen's lies. In a final showdown, Emily exposes Helen, reclaiming her home and marriage. The story explores trust, boundaries, and family power struggles, leaving a powerful lesson: stand up to control, no matter the cost. Have you faced a family betrayal like this? Comment and share your experience.